Shabbat Shalom. This is the Shabbat that immediately precedes Passover. It's known as Shabbat Hagadol, the Great Shabbat. And the reason it's known as the Great Shabbat is because this is the time when the rabbi is supposed to give essentially the longest sermon of the year. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rabbi, every sermon seems like the longest sermon of the year. But no, this sermon is supposed to be the longest sermon of the year. And we're supposed to talk about and refresh everyone's memories about how to make your house and your environment ready for Passover. How you're supposed to clean your house and kosher your utensils and all those kinds of things. And that's a worthwhile lesson. But I want to talk to you about something different. I think, as everybody knows, because I've taught it for so many years throughout my rabbinic career, that Passover is my favorite holiday, and I think essentially the most important holiday on the Jewish calendar. If you are only going to celebrate one Jewish festival, Jewish holiday, make it Passover. You shouldn't. You should celebrate all of them. But if you're only going to celebrate one, make it Passover. And this year, while there are so many themes one could talk about, this year I want to talk about less of a theme than a tradition. And that is the Passover table. You see, the Passover table, at least in my life, has been an incredible marker of years. And each year at the Passover table when I was a child, it was a wonder to see who was still there. It was a sign of sadness and memory to see who's no longer with us. We rejoiced when younger cousins came to the table and when then their spouses came to the table. And we felt a sense of loss when we noticed that a beloved grandfather or perhaps father was no longer at the table. So this year, as you're sitting at the table, I hope you're going to take a chance to look around and see who's there and who's with you. Maybe reflect on who's not with you. Hopefully, if someone's not with you, it's for the best of possible reasons. Maybe they're away at college. Maybe they're living in another city, pursuing a life that's meaningful and full of blessing. As well, maybe it's because someone is no longer in your life and you're experiencing the loss of a first Passover without a mother or a father or a grandparent. These are moments that weigh on us, but they're also moments of great beauty because the teaching of our tradition tells us that there's a time for everything, a season for everything under heaven, and a time to rejoice and a time to weep. And Passover really brings that home by noticing who's around. I hope, by and large, your Passover table is going to be full of joy and gladness and wonder and blessing and hope, as it should be. And if there is someone not at your Passover table because they're away at college or because perhaps you've suffered a loss, I hope you'll take a moment to think about that person and think about that person's role in your life and to send out a word or a blessing, silently or otherwise, to connect with those who are with you and those who are no longer with you. For me, my table will be blessed by my family. It's only been a couple of years in a row that we've had our entire family together, now grown by one by virtue of my son's upcoming marriage. And we welcome our future daughter-in-law, Isabel, to the table, and that's a sign of great joy and wonder. We'll also be welcoming some good friends, people that we've acquired as wonderful blessings in our lives over what is now 10 years here in Los Angeles. So there's only reasons to celebrate, only reasons for joy, only reasons of great things. And I hope when you sit at your table on the first night of Passover and you look around, whether it's rejoicing in everybody who is with you and making your Passover rich, or whether you are feeling the loss of a loved one, in either case, let Passover and let your Passover table be a point of memory and of looking forward to the future and of breathing in the idea that Judaism and Passover especially teaches, which is that tomorrow can always be better than today. I wish you, as this in Pesach, a happy, wonderful, joyous Passover. I'm looking forward to seeing you all this evening, 6:15 in the Gore Sanctuary. Shabbat Shalom.